What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Got a lot to talk about, so let's dive right into it. The foundation of what I teach on this channel is built off of minerals. So if you're interested in my channel, if you're interested in the stuff that I talk about and the health advice, and you're not sure where to start, what do I do? What should I take? This, that, and the other. It starts with minerals, you guys. Minerals are the foundation of life, and if you're deficient in minerals, you're going to run into a lot of issues. And oftentimes, if you run to the doctor and you have low minerals, for instance, which can, let's just say you're depressed. You're not sure why, but there's a fundamental lack of minerals coming into your system, and you're not aware of how potent minerals are for the health of your mind. You end up going to the doctor. You tell the doctor your symptoms. He tells you that you should go see a psychiatrist. So you go see the psychiatrist. The psychiatrist, then proceeds to not ask you anything about diet. Have you had your minerals checked? This, that, and the other. Have you had, your vitamin D levels checked, vitamin levels, etc. He doesn't, or he fails to ask you all these things, he or she. And more often than not, will do the standard psychiatric protocol of just putting you on some type of antidepressant, something like bupropion or an SSRI, a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor like Paxil or Prozac. Do you see how things just tumble out of control here in this matrix? So don't try to tell me that's not how things are done here in this world, because they are done like this through the standard system. You could have an abysmally low vitamin D level that's ruining your peace of mind, making you feel lethargic, apathetic, desensitized, etc. And you can go into a doctor, and the doctor will send you to a psychiatrist who will put you on a drug with multiple different potential side effects. This is absolute insanity of the highest order. Mainstream medicine does not you guys. Mainstream medicine does not promote the foundations of health, which are the 90 essential nutrients: minerals, vitamins, amino acids, essential fatty acids. Minerals, vitamins, amino acids, essential fatty acids. Minerals, vitamins, amino acids, essential fatty acids. We require, like a vehicle, a certain form of fuel. And human fuel is supposed to be laden with minerals, vitamins, amino acids, essential fatty acids. Minerals, vitamins, amino acids, essential fatty acids. Things such as, but not limited to, magnesium. Things such as, but not limited to, selenium, zinc, chromium and vanadium. Zinc, selenium, chromium, and vanadium. We require an inflow of nutrients that God designed us to require. Now, what happens when you systematically shut off a vehicle, for instance, from its essential, its essential needs? For instance, what happens when you take a Toyota or a Honda or a Ford and you just drive it along without ever fixing or having the new brakes put on? What happens if you drive a car hard without ever changing the oil? What happens if you drive a car without ever putting fuel in it? Well, it's going to stop running. You're going to put wear and tear on it, and you potentially might get to the point where you can never fix it. We require nutrients in the same way that a car requires maintenance. Having the spark plugs changed, having gas replenished, having the oil changed. How we've forgotten this is a mystery to me. And don't tell me we haven't forgotten this, you guys, because on a statistical level, we're all eating shit that has no nutritional value. And if you look at how much shit we eat in the United States, for instance, on a statistical graph, in tandem with the disease, sickness, depression, this, that, and the other, it's like a perfect match. As we eat more shit, we feel like shit, our body breaks down. Imagine that. It's all interconnected, guys. We are what we eat. The fuel that you put into your body in the form of food and fluid dictates the health of your physical organism and your mind. Imagine that, as well as the expansion of your consciousness. What people won't tell you here in this material realm, people who are teaching about health and this, that, and the other, is that food is designed to not only nourish the physical body, it's designed to nourish the mind. And it's designed to fortify the strength of the mind to the point where it begins to blossom and the consciousness expands. Food is fuel. But fuel is not just, or food's fueling qualities are not just limited to the physical protoplasm. Food's nutritional qualities, or fuel-like qualities, reach into the mind and expand it. And that's why if you take someone who eats fast food all the time, who's, chronically obese, is lethargic, doesn't get the 90 essential nutrients, this, that, and the other, doesn't ground themselves. This is why if you take someone like that, if they're willing to do this and put them on a protocol similar to the one I teach, in a matter of 2 months, they're a completely different person. They feel better. They're more optimistic. They have more self-confidence. It's because they're actually putting what's required by the body back into the body so the body can repair itself, heal itself, and expand itself. Expand the health of the organism. That's what I mean by expanding oneself. And before you know it, that expansion bleeds into the mind. The mind is opening up more possibilities. There's more optimism. Opportunities start opening up for an individual because they're finally using parts of their mind that were prior not, reachable. Again, you guys, food is fuel. And this is why the New World Order has systematically erected a world where the majority of the food is absolute garbage. It is absolute garbage. For years, I've been calling it cardboard food because cardboard doesn't really have any nutritional value, now does it? Mainstream matrix foods have the nutritional equivalents of cardboard. Do you really think that Ho-Hos and Zingers and Oreos and potato chips, ladies and gentlemen, and bottled water and soda pop, which is full of it's just high fructose corn syrup nowadays? Do you really think that all the pretzels and the gluten-containing foods and the foods full of vegetable oils that are driving the heart disease statistics right through the roof, it's fueling, these foods are largely fueling the sickness industry, ladies and gentlemen, like the heart disease business. There is copious degrees of proof showing how the foods that we eat statistically in the United States and nations worldwide directly feeds the cancer industry, the heart disease industry, etc. From a diabolical perspective, it's actually quite genius what they've done because they've thrown things into your world that you engage with that are exciting and fun. Again, it's fun to eat junk food. It's fun to do this. It's fun to do the other. But at the same time, it greatly spikes your risk of getting sick, developing cancers, etc., at which you run to them, the doctors, who then put you on more poisons. Genius. It's a business, you guys. Once you realize that this is all about money and the consolidation of power, you will be liberated. Once you realize that you have within your own capabilities and abilities, once you realize that you have the ability to take health into your own hands, you will be remarkably liberated. We begin to unplug from the matrix system, folks. We begin to unplug from the matrix beast system by first and foremost taking care of our own health, taking health into our own hands. The easiest way to start doing this, ladies and gentlemen, is by first and foremost outfitting your home with both a whole house water filter and a shower filter. That way the whole house filter will literally filter every ounce of water going to all of your appliances before it gets to your sink, before it gets to your shower, before it gets to your hose, this, that, and the other. I hope that makes sense. A whole house water filter filters all the water going to everything in your home. It pre-filters everything. So that way, by the time it goes through your shower filter, which you should all have by now, the water's already remarkably clean. It will allow your shower filter to last longer because the filter cartridge won't have to absorb so much, and it will allow you to be more alive because you won't be bathing in New World Order chemicals. Ladies and gentlemen, showering in tap water is about 10,000 times more dangerous than drinking tap water. Number one, because most people don't drink anywhere near as much tap water as they absorb when they shower. Again, most people take about a 5-minute shower. And often it's hot water. We'll talk about that in a second. But you know how much water comes out of your shower in 5 minutes? It's a lot. You're bathing in a lot of tap water. Now, on top of that, the tap water that most people bathe in, or shower in, because most people take showers over baths, is hot water. Most people shower in hot water. So what does hot water do? First, it makes steam that you're breathing in, you're inhaling, which is going into your lungs, and all those chemicals and metals, etc., are going through the lungs right into the bloodstream. But on top of that, you guys, the hot water is opening up your pores. So now you're absorbing all this tap water into your pores, which is also going into your bloodstream. So this is what happens, you guys. You end up bathing in a New World Order gas chamber of steam that consists of largely, but not limited to, chlorine, chloramines, disinfectant byproducts, algicides, cobalts, radioactive constituents, hexafluorosilicic acid, hydrofluorosilicic acid, pipe residue, scaling lime, fluorine, compounds and derivatives, inorganic minerals such as lime and calcium that will literally clog a pipe from allowing water to flow through it. These are accumulative poisons, guys. So people ask me all the time, how do I get started? What can I do? Guys, do the most basic things first. The most basic and cost-effective things. And in my opinion, that's a whole house water filter that you can get for under $200 nowadays, and a shower filter, which is about $50. I suggest the CUZN, Cousin Turbo Shower 105, the TS 105. That's the one I like. That's the one I've used for years. I'm sticking to that brand. I like it. But the Omica Organics brand has an amazing water filter. It's a little bit more expensive. It's about $100, and the Mercola one is good as well. There's a ton of them on the market. If you don't have a lot of money to invest right now, you can get yourself a Culligan shower filter that I think uses sand and KDF 55D to filter the water out. I've used one before. It does not work anywhere near as good as the Cousin Turbo Shower 105 or other models, but it still does work. You can notice a difference when you bathe in it. And that's the thing, you guys. The first shower you take with a good quality shower filter, you're going to be able to feel the difference. Your skin's going to feel softer. You're going to feel better when you get out of the shower. And over time, your skin, the elasticity and pliability is going to increase. You're going to feel how your skin's going to pleomorph. It's going to change. It's going to terraform. And you're going to realize that, holy shit, this water I've been bathing in my whole life has been killing me. I used to have tons of issues with dry skin, and it took years to discover or realize through trial and error that the chlorine in the tap water I was bathing in was destroying my skin. It was making it dry and itchy and this, that, and the other. The first shower I took in a Turbo Shower 104, which was the model that they had before they discontinued it, and Cousin made the TS 105, I felt like a different human. And I know that sounds really weird. I know that sounds really strange, but it's the truth. I also noticed that after that shower, my skin wasn't dry. And as I continued to shower in filtered shower water, I realized that, okay, this is all based on, all of my skin issues were from dirty, disgusting ass tap water I was bathing in. So guys, a whole house water filter and a shower filter. And if you get a whole house water filter, you don't necessarily need to buy a water filter to drink out of, although I would suggest getting like a reverse osmosis unit or a distiller, even though you have a whole house water filter, you guys, because whole house water filters, what they do is they take a large amount of the sediment out. They don't necessarily pull all the contaminants out. But even if you just got a whole house water filter and a shower filter, you are going to be limiting your exposure to toxins by like 99%, which will put you into a bracket that most people aren't in. And you will accelerate in this bracket because you're not poisoning yourself anymore. The removal of poisons is step one to any legitimate health protocol. The elimination of poisons. And the strict adherence to that type of a lifestyle, the elimination of poisons, guys, and the strict adherence to that type of lifestyle. So that's really basic. Yeah, you're going to have to invest a little bit of money, but the beautiful thing about the shower filter and the whole house water filter is once you do it, you guys, you're set. You're good to go. All you've got to do is keep living your life the way that you were prior to investing in these things, and you're going to reap the rewards of doing so. You know, it doesn't take much effort. All you do right now when you want water, when you want to shower, right, is turn the faucet on or the knob, right? You're not going to be doing anything different when you're showering in filtered shower water other than deriving benefit now. It's not like I'm telling you to go out and run around the neighborhood. It's not like I'm telling you to do 100 crunches a day. I'm just asking you, please invest in a water filter for your home as well as a shower filter. Because now you're doing the same thing. You're just turning the knob on when you take a shower, right? You're doing it now if you don't have a shower filter, but imagine if you had one. You're actually going to be deriving benefit from something that you currently do. It's a standby system. It's very basic. And the thing, you guys, before we dovetail out of this water discussion, the thing about the whole house water filter and why I put more emphasis on that than like a Brita water filter or this or a pitcher water filter, this, that, and the other, is because the reason I'm putting emphasis on the whole house water filter is because the whole house water filter will filter the water before it gets to your sink, before it gets to your hoses. It filters every ounce of water that comes into your home, which will by default make your shower water even cleaner, which by default will make the water going to the, your hose that you water your plants with cleaner. Plants like clean water too, you guys. We're not supposed to be watering our plants with water filled full of chlorine. It destroys the microbes in the soil, this, that, and the other. You see how one thing in our lives, tap water, destroys human health? So let's do this, you guys. Let's do this together. Go to www.ewg.org. Again, that's www.ewg, 3 letters. Let's see. Food and water. Give me just 1 second, you guys. It looks like they changed their website around. So let's do this. Let's actually go to Google together. I apologize. And type in EWG tap water database. EWG tap water database. And I'm not sure if this is international. I think this might just be within the United States. So what you're seeing right now, click the link. You know what? I'll put the link in the description box below. I apologize, you guys. The link is in the description box below. What the fuck is this? There's always got to be pop-ups and nonsense and bullshit. So if you get a pop-up that you can't exit out of, just go back and reload the link. So now the link if you click the link in the description box, you've come to the EWG tap water database system. So what you're going to do, and I don't know if this has been updated since 2019, but still, what you're going to do is you're going to type in your area code. So I'm doing that with mine. Let's go here. Just in this area alone, and what I've read, you guys, is that, am I frozen? It looks like the camera's frozen. God damn it. Let's wait a second. Come on, unfreeze, motherfucker. Bear with me, you guys. Let's actually close this and see if it fixes it. Of course not. It's always something. It's always something. Let me pause and then we'll continue. All right, guys, so continuing, I'm going to leave that link closed, but if you click it, just type in your area code and see what comes up. My area right now has 12 toxins that are exceeding their normal limits that shouldn't be there. And from my understanding, based on my research, the testing measures that they use to check for all this stuff are limited. So again, the water supply is probably full of a hell of a lot more. We're talking about heavy metals, disinfectant byproducts, fluorine, fluorine additives, etc. Stuff that does not belong there. But to get away from water, We need to focus on removing the poisons first and foremost. So many people contact me and say, what can I add to my diet? What can I eat? This, that, and the other. What's most important, you guys, is the strategic removal of certain toxins, or just all toxins, to the best of your ability. So I've got a glass of filtered water here. It's not distilled, but it is filtered. Filtration does not remove as much toxicity as distillation does, but it's still an effective system. It's better than nothing. But I don't want to keep talking about water because water rants get boring quick, but it is the foundation of life to a large extent. Our body uses, our cells, our 100 trillion plus cells use water to conduct and relay messages back and forth with one another. We are a largely aquatic entity, even though we're encased in a physical temple. So you want to clean the temple, you want to baptize the temple, you want to fortify the health of the temple, you change the water first and foremost. Because I don't care how much healthy food you eat, if you're still drinking tap water, drinking soda, and all the other garbage juices, this, that, and the other, you're going to be doing severe damage to your system. And yeah, it might taste good. The sugary juices and the soda might taste good. It might spike your blood sugar, make you feel high for a little while, but the crash is not worth it. And the crash is what gets you addicted to it, because you seek the substance that gave you the upliftment to re-fortify yourself out of the fucking whatever the fuck. Excuse me, I got a phone call and it threw me off course. Let me just text this person back. I apologize, you guys. Finishing a video. Okay. That is how largely the addiction business is operates, you guys. The addiction business. And addiction is a business in food corporations, cigarette companies, etc. What they do is they get you hooked so that you keep coming back for more. Just like a drug dealer. So the sugary sodas, etc., you drink them, they make you feel good, your blood sugar spikes, you've got energy, you're buzzing, and then you crash and you instinctively go back to the drink to uplift yourself again. And so the wheel turns, and so the wheel turns, and before you know it, you're doing this for weeks. Weeks become months, months become years, and you're still hooked to that Coca-Cola garbage or this, that, and the other. I'm not judging people. I sympathize. So we've just got to, in my opinion, if we want to achieve better health, we've got to take into consideration that there's poisons coming into our systems regularly through the air, the water, and the food. And in order to reverse that negative equation that's destroying your health, all you've got to do is tailor, or, I don't want to say ameliorate. You've got to not necessarily attenuate, but you've got to change and alter. You've got to transmute the quality of air you're breathing, the water you're drinking, and the food that you're eating. You do those things simultaneously, and you're good to go, ladies and gentlemen. I have a health triangle, 2 of them, an upwards one and a lower one. Maybe I'll put them on the screen right now. But the upper triangle of my health protocol, folks, is food, air, and water. That's the key. Once you've changed the quality of air, food, and water in your life, that triangle, you open the key, metaphorically speaking, and then you address the lower triangle, which is the mitigation of electromagnetic fields, the intentional use of grounding for at least 15 minutes a day on grass and dirt, walking barefoot on concrete as well, to increase the size of your vertebral openings and correct your posture according to God's original design. And then there's a lighting tab on the lower triangle, so we mitigate the toxic effect of blue light in our homes. We've gone over this, how blue light goes into the photoreceptors and causes the brain to not produce endogenous melatonin, its own melatonin, and how this destroys your pineal gland and ruins your health. The body's inability to produce its own melatonin because of chronic exposure to artificial lighting is one of the biggest threats to human health in the world that goes unnoticed by almost everybody, and not very many people are talking about the negative consequences of artificial light, especially when the sun goes down, because it tricks the brain into thinking the sun's still up because of how much blue light has been weaponized in these disgusting phones, etc., these televisions, these tablets, these smart devices. It's in there for a reason. Blue light is part of the color spectrum within the sun, and it's that blue light that is largely responsible for going into the eyes and waking us up. Blue light wakes the brain up. That's why when you see the sun in the morning, you get supercharged. It tells the brain, it triggers the mechanisms in the brain to put a halt to the production of endogenous melatonin, which again, melatonin makes you drowsy. It's also one of the body's most potent antioxidants. I hope that makes sense. We live in a world, you guys. Here's the thing. We live in a world that is set up to throw you off course. If you can realize that before it's too late, all you have to do is make simple changes in your living space, in your routine, etc., that changes that equation, and suddenly what used to destroy your health now uplifts it. It's a very simple, very basic form of alchemy, because the foundation of alchemy is indeed transmutation. And what is transmutation, folks? Transmutation is taking one thing and making it better. So what we do on this channel, what we talk about, is taking the shit of the world and turning it into something great. Because what do we do with shit? We fertilize things. We grow great things out of shit. We have the remarkably beautiful opportunity to take the negative things in the world and turn them into beautiful things. Use them as foundational stepping stones for growth. That's how you win. That, my friends, is how you win. That is how you fucking defeat the enemy. You take the shit that it gives you, you thank it for the shit, because you know that you now have the ability to change it into a beautiful evolutionary platform. So minerals, you guys: shilajit resin, shilajit powder, mineral drops. There's Omega Organics makes something called Active Ionic. That's a great mineral to take in water once to twice a day. Minerals. We start with minerals. So once you start cleaning your water, as I said earlier, you start fortifying your water with minerals. You just start off slow. You get those minerals back into your system. You do it on an empty stomach. You start to see how the light bulbs going off in your head. Minerals will make you illuminated over time, folks. They will turn your brain on. We start with minerals. Mineral drops or a multi-mineral tablet. You just want to make sure that the tablet does not have iron in it. You don't need a bunch of iron, but we also start, you guys, in tandem with all the stuff that I'm talking about. We supplement magnesium. This is magnesium malate. I decided this last month and a half to really experiment with magnesium malate. I'm not convinced that this is a legitimate form of magnesium after my experiments. Maybe it just doesn't work well with my system, but I actually found myself a little anxious after taking this, and I found myself not feeling grounded in the way that I do after taking magnesium glycinate or magnesium chloride. Magnesium or magnesium citrate. Those are my favorite forms of magnesium. Magnesium citrate, magnesium glycinate, and magnesium chloride. And yes, I actually do take internal magnesium chloride. It's touted as being topical only, but if you get good quality magnesium chloride, you can take it internally, and it's remarkably beneficial. I'm not sure if Doublewood Supplements still sells their internal magnesium chloride, but it's one of the best. Look into the research of Dr. Mark Circus and his research on magnesium chloride. One of the safest, one of the most bioavailable, you guys. But it doesn't produce that remarkably potent, like, calming effect that magnesium glycinate does. Magnesium citrate kind of gives me a body relaxation effect, but magnesium glycinate really, really amps my mind up, and I find my verbal fluency increases 10,000-fold. I'm pulling words. It's like my brain is just like this filing cabinet where it's pulling words out of nowhere and structuring them into sentences. It's really interesting. Magnesium glycinate is a brain food. Magnesium chloride, on the other hand, is a very calming muscle relaxer style magnesium. It works remarkably well. But I take different types of magnesium for different things. It's that simple. I don't always just take the same one. A friend of mine over in the United Kingdom swears by magnesium L-threonate, which I like magnesium L-threonate. I'm just taking a break from it for a while I experiment with magnesium malate, which I'm not going to buy another bottle of this. I like the brand. Source Naturals has a product called Ultramag, which is a cheap cost-effective magnesium complex consisting of multiple different types of magnesium. That way you get the best of multiple worlds. But there are some unnecessary additives, but that's just because you're paying low cost. Most magnesium complexes are remarkably expensive. So with all that aside, you guys, I'm going to wrap this one up because this video on this Macintosh, for some reason, these videos take hours to upload. I love you all, and may peace be with you.